A simple face reveal can either make or break your YouTube career. So here are 11 face reveals that impacted these YouTubers' lives forever, starting with Corp's husband, who had a more tragic outcome because of a face reveal that was never supposed to happen.
And when this happened, his career officially took a drastic turn for the worst. And so did Dreams, but specifically Corp's husband, because everybody thought that just because he had a good sounding voice and attractive voice that his face must have matched how his voice sounded. It was the most overhyped, highly anticipated, most larger than life thing ever until somebody leaked his face and they saw what he really looked like.
It seemed as though Corpse became an overnight sensation after playing Among Us.
Oh, Corpse, what's going on?
Hello, friend.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, Buddy basically sounded like Batman back in the day, and turns out all this time it wasn't his natural voice, but he actually had a medical condition, I believe linked to some type of cancer, I may be wrong, that actually made his voice sound like that. And I suppose technically that is natural, but because of that facade, because of that allure, people thought he must have been like a 6'4" jacked demigod with model tier features, and that expectation actually burned him in the long run.
His unnaturally deep voice made him stand out.
I feel like your voice is touching. I feel like your voice is hitting a part of my ear that's never been hit before.
He went from having 1 million subscribers to over 10 million subscribers on YouTube and releasing a platinum hit record. But with his meteoric rise to fame came a lot of intrigue about Corpse's appearance. Everyone had extremely high expectations of what he looked like, and anything less than that would result in a massive wave of hate.
Exactly, which is the dumbest thing anybody could possibly do to a creator. Bro, we're just regular people. Aside from our massive platforms and our talent for, I suppose, entertaining a lot of people, you can't create these fantasies and these larger than life expectations in your head and expect them to be fulfilled once a face reveal is done, and then be sorely disappointed when it didn't match your expectations and just completely cut off the creator, stop supporting and stop watching their content. Like, that's just corny as fuck to me.
A character or like a brand or like an anime character or something, so they don't treat me as if I'm an actual person.
This led to Corpse trying everything in his power to prevent anyone from leaking his face. And as more and more of his fans tried to dox him and uncover his identity, it only made Corpse's anxiety and mental health worse.
That's just sad as fuck, man. Like, what? Yo, people become so obsessed with the idea, the version in their head that they think you are, and then when it comes time for you to step outside your bubble, face reveal, and actually try to show the world who you are, intentionally or through a leak, then you have people who are like ridiculously disappointed. And it's mostly fangirls who were doing this back in the day, and they still do this now, today.
Are you ever going to do a face reveal?
I don't think I'm gonna face reveal on purpose anytime soon. It's just way too much now. Since I've grown so much, I feel like everyone's staring at me every time I leave my house, so it's gotten scarier.
Do you have to like change your voice when you're out in public?
I avoid talking at all costs anywhere in public.
However,
Again, that is sad as hell, and because I suppose his fans at the time heard him confirm that he wouldn't be doing it anytime soon, intentionally at least, somebody, some dickhead, some jackass went out of their way to try and leak who he actually was. Now, I'm not entirely sure how they went about doing that or securing that type of information, but honestly, when that leak first came out and I saw it like all those years ago, I honestly didn't believe it was him either. You know, he just looked like a chubby kid with long greasy hair who looked like he could have played band in high school, genuinely nondescript, and I assure you all his fangirls were likely very disappointed.
However, Corpse's nightmare turned into reality on March 27, 2021 after he was completely doxxed.
No, I didn't see all this information. I only saw one pic, but this man was legitimately doxxed. I can't believe it. Holy shit. I really didn't look that deep into the story because I felt bad for the guy, but Jesus Christ. I genuinely can't believe some people are genuinely this obsessed. But the document says Corp's husband, his full name, which is redacted, is a YouTuber who's famous for his edgy TikTok music and his Among Us streams. He's a sexy, bishy anime man who raps about e-girls and totally isn't a chunky edgelord IRL. I'm telling you, to go to this level, to leak this amount of information about somebody who doesn't even know you, who really didn't even do anything wrong, it's just different levels of envy, jealousy, parasocial behavior, and in my opinion, clinical sociopathy. They say, now ladies, don't let his good looks fool you. This man is not actually Joji, Lozan, or Andy Biersack. They say redacted name got his start as a creepy pasta / horror dramatic reader on YouTube. Fans loved his low gravelly voice and how creepy it was. Eventually he started his career by streaming / playing Among Us with popular YouTubers like PewDiePie and Pokimane. Redacted name Fame's entire persona is being such a sad and super depressed e-boy as he constantly cries on social media for attention and pity. Up until September 21, he was living a life of anonymity.
Revealing his real name, face, and full address for everyone on the internet to see. And everyone started posting his face on social media, bullying him for his appearance.
So yes, this was the photo I originally saw, and this is the only thing I remember seeing and just completely forgot about it. Yeah, this is his face. Now it's blurred, but we can't entirely see what's going on. But in tandem with the document we just saw in this photo, I suppose pulled from that expose, this is Corp's entire appearance.
Corp's husband face reveal. Not as he advertised. Sorry fangirls, lol. I knew he was ugly. Unsubbed and unfollowed Corp's after seeing that face reveal. Like, I thought he was gonna be hot, but he's just some ugly creep. Like, ew.
Black pill. I'm sorry. This is why I say, you know, in my previous videos, yo, looks do matter, and I hate when people say it's only personality. Personality, right? If that's the case, why as soon as Corpse comes out with his face reveal? I mean, he didn't even do it. It was somebody else who literally doxed him. Why as soon as his face comes out, people are calling him creepy, unsubbed, unfollowed? I thought he was gonna be hot. You see the parasocial obsessed behavior I'm talking about? Did he ask for any of this? Was it even consensual? No. And did we even catch the person who did this? I think not.
And the hate kept flooding in. This was the last straw for Corpse, leading him to abandon his main YouTube channel, with his last video posted on November 23rd, 2021. And he lost 400,000 subscribers ever since. The only thing Corpse ever asked for was privacy, and his fans couldn't even grant him that much. He didn't abandon them, they lost him.
Yo, that is absolutely insane. Ladies and gentlemen, before watching this video, I promise you I did not see any of this. They say this man went from pushing 8 million subs to losing over 400,000 subs after his face was revealed. If that isn't giant ass pill of nihilism, then I don't know what is. We live in a superficial ass world, and the people who say they only care about personality or looks don't matter as much, most of them gotta be lying their asses off as complete cap, because if that were the case, my guy wouldn't have lost so much support in the tune of hundreds of thousands. Somebody so obsessed wouldn't have gone to the lengths finding out what he looks like, being jealous enough to then leak it, knowing what it would have possibly done to his career. How evil and how shallow of a person can you be to find somebody's content entertaining, have this idea in your head of what they look like, their face being leaked against their will, unconsensually, seeing that image, previously enjoying the content, but now that image in your head has been shattered, just completely abandoning their channel off of some parasocial obsessive fantasy in your head that was shattered. Honestly, sad as hell, man. And ladies and gents, as you can imagine, the comments are obviously coming to this man's defense, obviously, because that's the right thing to do, you know, based on the information we just saw. The top comment said, so basically, face reveal only works out if you're attractive or if you fit the image of your viewer's imagination. And unfortunately, sad to say, that's basically what it is. It's true. Another comment said, those girls calling Corpse a creep for being ugly while expecting for him to be hot and handsome are the real creeps. Well, unfortunately, the world doesn't see it like that. Another person said, attraction bias isn't real. Dash, a beautiful person. Well, as we all know, privilege is invisible to those who have it. Somebody else said, calling Corpse an ugly creep just because you saw his face is actually quite insane. I hope that girl gets rejected by every guy she finds an interest in. Somebody else said, the worst part is none of the ugly creators are ugly in the slightest. They're just normal to slightly above average looking people. Not everyone has to be super hot. Well, apparently to these fangirls, they got a big 6'4", Giga Chad, jacked, demigod looking motherfucker. Somebody said, guys, I'm not comfortable showing my face. Quote, the internet. Well, we are going to do it anyways and ruin your life. And for this last comment, I didn't know Corpse got doxxed. I feel so sorry he went through that, and this video goes to show how shallow people are about looks. And if you enjoy the person, their looks shouldn't matter. And this last comment as well, Corpse fans have no idea what boundaries are, and they don't deserve respect. I mean, back in the day, bro, like they were obsessed. They were everywhere. They would fuck, like it was a cult basically. So I'm not surprised this eventually happened. Not in the least, not in the slightest. But ladies and gentlemen, do let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I really didn't know the majority of the information I just saw before watching this video, so shout out to the creator. Do go on over to his channel, give him credit, Ryan Pictures. Also, if you're new to the channel, sub, turn on noties, join our community Discord. Links are all down below. And yeah, hope you guys never do that to me. I do plan on doing a face reveal sometime this year. Please don't abandon me and stop supporting my content because I don't live up to the expectations or the fantasy you may have in your head. Regular guy who just loves creating content. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, everybody, stay safe out there.